Now, financial markets across the globe reacted to Donald Trump's victory in the U.S. presidential election in different ways. U.S. stocks hit record highs on Wall Street, and the dollar posted its biggest gain in 8 years. Bitcoin also hit an all-time high. However, some African stocks were excluded from the global market frenzy as the Nigerian equities market just managed to launch a comeback from its continued bearish trend. Well, the topic of our conversation this afternoon is the Trump effect, opportunities and challenges for Nigeria's capital market in a global context. To discuss this is Aruna Kebira, Managing Director and CEO, Global View Capital Limited. He joins us via Zoom from Lagos. You're welcome to Business Express, Mr. Aruna.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
All right. Now, the U.S. Federal Reserve has cut interest rates by 25 basis points. What does it mean for investor confidence on Wall Street as well as the global economy, more so at a time when CBN is increasing interest rates in the fight to slow down inflation?
I will start by putting my footings on this circular flow of income that the investable fund moved from the capital market to the money market. And this cut in rates means that the rate in the money market has been reduced, which will make it less attractive and the yield will go less. And what it normally portends for capital market, especially for the Wall Street, is that we are going to see a lot of capital flow from the money market to the capital market. And what is also we always do for the U.S. economy that is going to reduce cost of business, cost of borrowing, cost of production will reduce, and there will be full capacity utilization at the end of the day. So it's actually is potentially positive for the equities market, which is Wall Street. We are going to see a lot of bullish movement. There will be a lot of liquidity available at the Wall Street on one side. But when you want to relate it to Nigerian is increasing rate to combat inflation, I don't think that they are comparable. The Nigeria inflation rate and what is happening in the U.S. is not comparable, because we understand that one of the things that's able to cause the inflation down here at home is the dollar rate. And the dollar rate, and that is why the CBN is trying as much as possible to make sure that the rates are increased. To one, to be able to rein in inflation. Two, to make investing in the country profitable. So which cannot relate to what happens there, what is happening here, but the rate cut of 25 basis points by the Fed in the U.S. one is going to encourage investment in the world market. In the Wall Street, sorry.
Okay, investors believe that Trump's plan to cut taxes and raise tariffs will push up inflation and reduce economic growth. How realistic is this? What's your view, please?
See, I don't believe that can actually be that cutting tax rate and inflation are actually be positive, because what it means that cutting tax rate is one, increasing the disposable income in the pocket of the consumer. The question is, will it actually increase the demand for product? If it is, the inflation rate that might actually be gotten from there, will it be as big as 0.25 basis point that the Fed has actually reduced? I don't believe so. I actually believe that the only thing is that it's going to augur well for the subsidiary of the U.S. It's going to increase their daily welfare by increasing the disposable income in their pockets. I really would not believe in that maxim that cutting rates will increase inflation in the U.S.
Okay. Now, global stock markets recorded mixed performance as investors digested Trump's defeat of his Democrat rival, Kamala Harris. Is this a red flag or good news for investors?
There's one thing that we should always understand, especially markets. There is what we call initial reaction. And there's always a frenzy where there is a change of government. It has happened here May 29, 2023. We saw on the inauguration day of the president when he made his mark and the stock market began to go. But what I don't know is that by the time the analysts sit down and things begin to dawn on investors, the market will always have a way of correcting itself. If policies and programs are being released by the current administration, because one, there was a manifesto. Manifesto is what they use to swing in the votes to their side. At times, there is a difference between what is contained in the manifesto and the policies and the programs that is being rolled out by the government. So by the time the policies and the program are being rolled out, then the investor can now sit down and know whether, yes, will the bull actually be there or the market is going to do a correction. So I think this has to do with what the current administration have for people, America.
Okay. Today, on the floor of the equities market, the bulls returned with the all-share index up 37 basis points. And as investors gained 216.83 billion naira, recovering some of the losses from the previous session. What's driving the positive sentiment at this time?
You see, that just talks about the pricing. What we saw about 3 weeks ago was a big bull in the banking sector and the oil and gas sector. And along the line, especially last week, there were drops, especially in the all-share index. Why? Because the oil and gas in the name of Owando and Aradel were dropping 30% by day. And let me also put this one at the back of our mind. There are stocks that are on the exchange that are called XWO, that is stock worth over 1 trillion capitalization. Any direction that they go a day, the all-share index actually go to that direction. What we saw by Monday, the index closed, think on the positive side, closed negative. On Tuesday, the closed positive, or Wednesday, closed negative. What we are seeing today is a result of the reversal. One, in the price of Owando, two, in the price of Harada. And again, we actually see a bullish run in corn oil. And that is exactly because the banking sector have actually slowed down in the prices. And we saw UB rising as far as 35 naira is doing about 32 naira, especially when the right issue of 145 that they are going to embark on was announced at 35 naira. So actually it has nothing to do. It's not in tandem with the win, the declaration of Trump as the president of the US. The market is just behaving like a market. It's recovering because the stock worth over 1 trillion are recovering. And you can see Owando was supposed to even open at 58 naira 90 kobo yesterday. It closed 70 naira, which was like 20%. Aradel has gone to 300 naira. It was on bid yesterday at 10%. Aradel is one of stock worth over 1 trillion naira, and it was also on bid today. So I think it's a recovery of those stocks that actually make the market to look up, not because Trump has won as the president of the US.
Okay, we see the dollar all of a sudden appreciating more than 1% against major currencies, reaching its highest level in 4 months. What are the push factors and how sustainable is this?
Like I said, the dollar rate is determined in the forex market and is the initial market effect. Now, what actually determines the price is demand and supply, and it has to do with the volume of business that US has to do with the rest of the world. If there is no demand for the dollar, then the price cannot be sustained, and the price of which is gained at 1.8 after the announcement of the victory of Donald Trump is the volume of business, the volume of demand is not as high as what it was on that day. Then the increase will not be sustained, cannot be sustained.
Saying that Trump's victory may pressure oil prices as he is seen pushing for a further increase in domestic oil and gas production, leading to increased supply in the long term. What does this mean for Nigeria?
What I would first of all say, because even while he was campaigning, he made mention of the fact that on the day that it is declared the winner, which I don't believe he actually did, is going to put a call through to Putin, one, and to kill him some. And I think what he's going to do in essence is to try as much as possible to mediate in between the fight between Ukraine and Russia. And you know, those guys are one of the highest producer, one of which, secondly for oil and gas. And I believe by the time they come back on stream, there will be substitute for petrol, that is crude oil. That is on one side. And on the second side is that if actually that he has put a call through to Putin and put a call through to the Philip Song, I'm seeing a situation where there will be an ally of the US that is outside the OPEC. And if those guys begin to bring in fuel into the crude oil into the world market, there's actually going to be a drop. But if you are looking at the effect on our economy, I think one of the things that I do understand is that the gain for the dollar is a loss for the naira. And for a very long time, Nigeria has not been able to meet their daily OPEC quota. To the extent that it was dropped from 2 million barrels per day to patry 1.5 million barrels per day. And we cannot still do that. We are doing 1.32. And there is already a loss in between 1.5 and 1.32. So the higher the lower the cost of crude oil, the worse that will be for the government, because like I said, that the inflation that we're experiencing is an offshoot of the cost of the dollar. So if we don't make enough foreign exchange to defend the dollar, then we'll be in a worse state, we'll be in a bad situation. And we understand that the higher the cost of the dollar to naira is going, then the inflation will continue to track it, and it will be worse for an average Nigerian. So as oil will tend to go down, if actually that happens, then it will be a bad nightmare for the Nigerian citizen.
Mr. Aruna Kebira, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts with us on the program this afternoon.
Thank you for having me, madam.